Hello and welcome back, guys. This is the part two for information for international students regarding life here in Rotterdam. As a student in the Erasmus University, Rotterdam. So, uh, in the previous part, we discussed about financials, the health system, supermarkets, banks, and now let's start today. Actually, it's the same day. So let's start the second part by discussing about transportation. So transportation here is uh, really developed as well as the infrastructure. Um, the tram lines, reach everywhere from one end to another uh, of the city. But there's also the metro that again not only extends within the city but also uh, goes, of course, when you take different metro lines. So not with one go, but when you switch to another metro line, you can even go to Den Haag. That's another city that's very close. In English, The Hague. You can go to Rotterdam Airport with the metro. Then there are buses, of course. I actually, except for one time, never used buses because they're a bit more expensive. I prefer trams, although the problem with trams are that they come during the daytime once every 10 minutes, as far as I know, and in the evenings once every 15 minutes, and in the late evenings once every 20 minutes. Uh, that's the problem with trams, especially the ones that are close to the campus. That is, the closest one is, of course, right in the entrance of the campus, right next to the entrance of the campus. That is line number 7. Uh, that's ranging from Wilhelmsplein to Erasmus University. And another tram station where line numbers 24 and 21 pass from is called Station Radostein. That is 5 minutes by walk, and it's right next to the Excelsior Football Club stadium. So line number 21 uh, is the one that goes from Schiedam Wuthoek to the Ish, and line number 24 is the one that goes from Holy to the Ish. Uh, Now, the advantage of tram is that, yeah, it's uh, it goes, it has several stations, and you can have more options at which you can drop out. Like you can have more options regarding the station you want to drop out. But for example, once I took a bus from Palestine to Rotterdam Central, and the number of bus stops were less, and also the uh, line distance of the bus was also less, and it was very expensive because it was early in the morning. Okay, but it the price is the same. It doesn't matter between evenings and early mornings. So it was, I guess, 5 or 4 euros uh, for the whole bus trip from the campus Radestein to Rotterdam Central. Whereas with the tram, it would be something like 150 euro, around something like that. Uh, I mean, by that I mean 1.5 euro, not 150. So definitely I prefer trams, but there's even a more preferred uh, medium of transportation, that is, of course, bicycles. yes, one of the first things you gotta do when you come here to Rotterdam is buy a bike. The best known brands here are number one, Gazelle, the most expensive. Number two, Batos, probably the second most expensive. And number three, Sparta, obviously the third most expensive one. Uh, Now, you might want to get something called a swap feet bike. So actually, feet means bike in Dutch, or feet is bike, bicycles. So swap feet is an online bike provider where you can get in the waiting line, and then when turn comes to you, you can get your bike from the. I don't know how it works. 'Cause I don't have a swap feet, but you can get your bike at the place you want probably, and it also comes with a lock. Uh, they all look the same, swap feet. They all look the same. Their colors are the only difference, but there are some minor differences, of course. For example, if you're lucky, maybe your bike uh, looks brand new or newer compared to the older rusty ones, maybe. But of course, their uh, repairs are monitored and made by the company, as far as I know. And again, with the information I currently have, I know that it's 12 euros per month. But the ones with brakes are, I guess, 14 euros. And you may be surprised. Well, what the hell are you talking about? Like, all bikes have brakes, don't they? At least that was the case in my country. But it appears that in Netherlands, the culture is actually uh, like more towards bikes without brakes. And then how do you brake? You brake by reverse pedaling. So you cycle like this. Now instead you cycle backwards to brake. Although it might be very difficult to get used to it, and uh, you might actually have yourself injured several times, uh, there are still many people who get used to it, and it's actually in one way better because the uh, repairing of the brakes, you know, the cables of the brakes is tough, and sometimes brakes can be problematic regarding the uh, man- monitoring of the bike and its condition, because there are cases where brakes can touch the wheels, and it might be hard to just establish a good amount of distance between the brake and a bike. So it's really tough to do. Therefore, it's cheaper and easier when you don't have brakes. But for person who is not used to reverse pedaling, it will take some time to learn, and you might not even get a hang of it. So I advise those people who are not used to reverse pedaling just to get bikes with brakes. However, you might, you know, at the same time learn how to ride those bikes too. And after some time, maybe at the end of a year, you can buy or rent such a brakeless bike. Uh, the bike I have is called Viria. It's relatively inexpensive compared to others. Actually, yeah, really inexpensive compared to others. And you can buy it like you can buy a brand new one. Uh, for bikes, I think you should have, if you want to buy a second-hand bike, which is a really really big market here, then and alongside with bike bags, and which are also called, I guess, 10 years or something like that. So you want to buy a second-hand, decent condition bike with locks, because you need locks, especially steel ones, because plastic ones can be cut and your bike can be stolen, which is a great problem here. And with 10 years, then you should probably set up a budget of 100 euros. That would be sufficient. Uh, you have to check whether your bike has front and back lights, so that in evenings when you're traveling, people can see you and you can see the road. Uh, and also, I would really advise you to get that bike bag because it helps a lot carrying groceries. If you want to carry them with your hand, of course, it's a different thing, but it would be very tiring for your arms unless your grocery shopping consists of only a limited number of items and you do the shopping often, then it's a different case. Uh, Other than that, I can elaborate on the intercity transportation. So the main form of transportation between cities here uh, is trains, and I love trains because in Turkey, back in my country, I didn't have the opportunity to travel by train. I don't know. I don't even remember traveling at all. Maybe once or twice in my life, but I don't remember. So it's something I really want to do. And I love to see the nature just by looking out the window while traveling and listening to music, and it's an awesome feeling. So there's a really developed railway system here, really developed one. From Rotterdam to Amsterdam, you can get by 40 minutes with Intercity Direct. So Intercity Direct is an extra option you have to buy. Currently is 2.4 euros, but it really saves you some time, like half an hour or maybe 20 minutes. I'm not really sure, but it really saves you some time. I really advise on buying that. In trains, you have two options. One is second class and one is first class ticket. I mean, second class, in my opinion, is like the first class in Turkey. Like, you really have distance for your legs, like between the seats. It's really comfortable. There's enough place to put your baggage or luggage if you're traveling with one. So, I mean, there's no need to buy a first class one, in my opinion, and it's very expensive. But yeah, I mean, if you love luxury, then it's for you. There's also a train, or there are parts in trains where you can take your bike with you too, but you have to check up on that while buying the train ticket and specifying that you want to get your bike too. Maybe you have to pay some extra amount. I'm not really sure. I've never done that. And the government railway is called NS. So you can go to ns.com or .nl, whatever it is, and check for train tickets. But for example, from Amsterdam to Rotterdam or Rotterdam to Amsterdam, inclusive of the uh, intercity direct option, is between 14 and 15 euros, and it takes you 40 minutes to reach. So uh, that's decent regarding the quality. So price quality ratio, I can say is good. And I reached Eindhoven in an hour, exactly 1 hour. Yeah, and The price was a bit higher at around 18 euros with Intercity Direct, but again, the price quality ratio is the same, it's very good. That's what I think. So that's how it works. But of course, other than train, you got the option of traveling by bus, which I have no knowledge of because I have never done so. But if you want, there's a bus company called Arriva, and there's a bus company called Flixbus. I think these two are the most well known. But you have to search for yourself and see what options are there. Because until now, I never had the need to travel by it, and I don't know what their offerings and prices are. And again, in buses, sometimes you can take your bike with you for an extra charge, probably. And these trains and buses, by the way, they can also travel between the neighboring countries like Belgium and Germany or France. But I'm not really sure if there's an extended line. Again, you have to check that. Uh, Now, the next topic I want to delve into is the, let's now come to the campus. Now I'm taking a look at the campus map. I'm going to put the Erasmus campus map in the link as a link in the description. You can access it there. Uh, so we have it. We don't have one of the biggest campuses, but it's definitely not small in size. We have many buildings. Uh, in terms of uh, the size, I'm actually not sure which one the biggest is, but the oldest is the Timbergen building, and it's one of the two biggest alongside with Mandeville building. They're like both of them are around 20 floors. Timbergen building is the oldest one, uh, named after Jan Timbergen, the Nobel Prize winner for economic category in 1960 something. I think 69 or 68. And then most of our classes in International Business Administration, Bachelor of Science, most of them are being held in the Mandergroot building and Mandeville building, as well as Thale building, and sometimes, rarely, in the aula. We had IT classes in the G building. Uh, then there's the Bale building. I think that's for doctoral or master student because we never had a lecture there. There's the V building. That's where small lectures are held, like maybe kind of mentor session kind of things. Not really formal, but maybe workshop type of lectures are held there, or training lectures. I'm not really sure. So the V building is a great place to study with your teammates on projects. You can check for free rooms or rooms that are not reserved that are available in an app called EUR Study Rooms. You can download it via Google Play or App Store. So if you're gonna be a student here, you should definitely have that app installed in your phone, as well as Osiris. Osiris is like your student app where you can check your grades, register for courses, see the message archive, blah blah blah. Then there's the Polak, famous Polak building, where most of the students go to self do their self studying, and Most of the time, uh, they hold their team meetings in that building. It's a very, very popular building. It's usually full. So my favorite building is the View building. It's a like one floor building with several tiny little rooms, but it's more personalized in terms of space, more private. Uh, Under the Pollock building, there's bike shop. There is a hairdresser called Lydia. There is the study store, of course, where you can buy your books for your courses each trimester, as well as some stationery items. There are four printers there. You have to buy a printing card. The 55 credit one is 3.5 euros, while the 200 credit printing card is, I think, uh, 10 or 15 euros. I'm not really sure. I forgot about the prices right now. And in the study store, you can also buy summaries for your courses. So instead of reading the book that is usually 600 pages, in some cases even more. For example, in case of operations management, nearly 1,000 pages. So summaries really help a lot. Or you can just buy souvenirs, uh, like special pens or uh, Erasmus University hoodies, uh, Erasmus University T-shirts, some things like that. There's also an RSM store for those who are right now studying in Rotterdam School of Management, like me. So there, I think it's open on 3 days and for I don't know 5 hours maybe. I'm not sure but for a really less amount of time. But in RSM store, you can buy hoodies, T-shirts, or some other items that are uh, that have a logo of the RSM, Rotterdam School of Management. So it's a different thing than what they sell in the study store. Then we have the food plaza. In the food plaza, there are six restaurants or six eating places, six different shops. One is Has Döner Kebab. That's a chain here that sells doner kebab. I mean, it's really a hotspot for many people. It's really a popular selection, and it's also the best option for those who want to eat halal food. And then there is the Indonesian uh, place called Sate Bar. Uh, it's also decent. For example, it sells some I don't know things with different names because I don't know what they mean, but they look tasty. They have, for example, rice and fried rice, white rice, and some special chicken plate or something. You might as well try that out. Uh, there's the Asian restaurant called Somi. I never tried that. I don't know anything about that. Then there's I think a vegetarian sandwich place. Again, I don't know anything about that. Then there's the Starbucks. We probably all know about that. And then there is a toast selling place, toast shop called Toasty World. I tried that several times. You can customize your toasts, and it actually is a great place. I really advise Toasty World to. Uh, you can have the toast you want, and it's very fresh. It's very nice. Other than that, in front of the food plaza, there are sometimes uh, stands where they sell like different kind of food. Uh, Once it was olibollen. It's a local dessert, local sweet. I never tried that until that day, so it's something great. Actually, I loved it. Then there's this creperie that frequently comes, and right now there was uh, one that was selling hot dogs or some fried things. So yeah, there are different options. We have the Sanders Building, home to the Law Faculty of Law, I guess. Uh, it's also a nice place for studying. It has a library of its own with gigantic books. That's why I didn't apply for law. I mean, although it's a really in-demand course. Then we have the Hogeschool Rotterdam. That's not a part of our university actually. That's just on the edge of the campus. Uh, it's a part of the Hogeschool, so it's a different university. So, but this building is like inside our campus. They're like sister university. It was something like that. Yeah. So as a student of the Erasmus University, we got nothing to do with that building of theirs. Then we have Erasmus Pavilion building. There's a theater inside. Open stage nights where students sing music, play some instruments or something are held there. Sometimes there are movies that are organized by Studium General, for example. Studium General is a good organization of the Erasmus University. I advise you to get yourself signed up. You can have discounts on their movies or the concerts they organize or events they organize. Also, if you are a piano player like me, you can buy a piano card for 30 euros that will last for a whole year. And it works like this that there's a piano room with a piano, not the big one, but normal piano. Uh, and you can access it through the security desk. You can get the key to the room, leave your piano card in the security desk, go play the piano, come back, give the key back, and get your piano card back too. It works like this. Although, yeah, because there's only one room and there are many people, many holders of the piano card, it's sometimes problematic when you want to play, when you have little free time, you want to play in your free time, but there's someone else using it. There's another piano in the auditorium, but it's a grand piano, but obviously you are usually not allowed to use it. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why they aren't changing, making some changes so that it can be efficiently utilized. I mean, it's being unutilized right now, so like its usage is really inefficient. If you bought it, just let the students play, isn't it? So, I mean, I hope my message will be received by some authorities and they might make some changes, hopefully. I really want to uh, help students get increased access to pianos, and that's one way of doing it. Plus, normal people don't get to play grand pianos in their lives, and it's a great opportunity. And we have bought these piano cards, so hopefully one day proper changes will be made. So auditorium is big, and usually there are some official ceremonies held there. Like when you first uh, get into the university, there's the official opening ceremony. Other than that, we have the e-building. I don't know what is being done there. No knowledge. We have the P building. So P building is the building that consists of student associations. There are many of them. The major ones are BNR Beurs, Financial Study Association, BNR Beurs. Then there's Rotterdam Financial Study Association. BNR Beurs is also a financial association. Uh, then there's Erasmus Student Network. Then there's Chinese Student Association. Other than that, we have Eastern European Student Association uh, and several others whom I forgot the names of right now. But yeah, there are several others. Like there's a Turkish Student Association too, and it's located in a very nice place. Then there's the, of course, Tim Bergen building, the oldest one, probably the biggest one, and it's, I think, home of the Erasmus School of Economics. Then there's the Thale building. Some lectures are held there. It's a three-floor building, and then there's floor minus one, I guess, so it makes it four floors. I'm not sure. Then we have the library, of course. Again, a very in-demand place. It has two parts. One part is like normal part where you can just talk with others, make noise. The other part, the silent section, where you're not allowed to, make noise. Although some people unfortunately don't follow that rule. It's really annoying when that happens. Usually, you rarely find available seats in library. Uh, it's open until 12 or midnight in weekdays, and in weekends it's open until 10 p.m. Again, that's what I know. My information can be wrong. Please check the Erasmus University's website in detail and try to check every section, every page to have the most of information that is available. We have the G building. There are many IT rooms there with computers, but also some other rooms. There's a meditation room there that's for uh, you can say, yeah, meditating or prayers for any religion. There's the F building that is, I think, again uh, organ controlled by SSH company, and is, as far as I know, only for female accommodation. Then there's the Q building, and I don't know what is used for, but I know that there are lectures held there, so yeah, it's a busy building too. There's the Erasmus Sports Center. Currently, the sports pass is 175 euros for 1 year. I don't know if it's like 1 year or one academic year. So if you buy it in the middle of the academic year, what happens? You have to check that out. I don't have the full information. Until recently, they had a huge discount. Uh, then we have the N building. It was in restoration just until recently. I don't know currently what purpose it serves. Then there's the Hatta building, of course. So it's this building we're living in. In the ground floor of the Hatta building, there's a physiotherapy center. There is uh, there was a sustainability hub, but I think it was changed to esports office. I think I'm not sure. And there's of course the very popular Cafe de Smith's bar where you can have drinks. Uh, in the university, there's an abundance of parking spaces, I believe. There are two floors of parking spaces, so I don't think you'll have difficulty in parking your car. Uh, but that's for the main parking, the free parking, I guess, because there's another parking space in the Mandeville building uh, that is again two floors. I'm trying to check for other parking spaces. Yeah, there are no other, but yeah, there are a lot of parking spaces for cars, and you can park your motorbikes just next to bicycles in the entrance of the campus or the main uh, area, like you can say Erasmus Plaza. Uh, yeah, that's it from the campus. I'm checking for any other buildings whether I missed any. No, I don't think so. Yeah, and there's of course a tennis court we have in the northern part. Again, you only have access to that if you have the sports pass. So, uh, metro station of Kraling's area is 15 minutes by walk. If you walk a bit faster, 10 minutes. The tram station for number 7 is right in front of the campus entrance. The tram station Time for lines number 21 and 24 are 5 minutes walk from the campus. Again, if you walk faster, maybe 3 minutes. And the average time you reach Rotterdam Central from the campus is 25 minutes by tram. Uh, I don't know what else to be said. There's an online motorbike or scooter sharing service called Felix. If you love to ride bikes, you can check that out. Felix, Felyx, and check the requirements for accessing one of the uh, motorbikes or sorry, scooters. Uh, now, then let me come to the first topic of first day or first days in Rotterdam. So I arrived to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, not to Rotterdam Hague Airport, because it's not a very popular route for many international airlines. So probably you'll have to travel from Amsterdam to Rotterdam. The best way to do this is by arranging for a pickup service of the university. So you can check that from the one-stop shop section of the Erasmus University's website. You can check in which timelines the pickup service from the Schiphol airport that takes you to Rotterdam for free uh, happens, like the dates, and the times. There are probably 3 or 4 different uh, times, different hours the pickup service leaves from the Schiphol airport. Students, I made use of that service, and it was a great service. I comfortably arrived in Rotterdam without any problem. I was really tired. I mean, taking a train from the Schiphol airport to Rotterdam isn't a problem at all. But the problem is that it's your first day. You don't know anything about the country, leave aside Rotterdam, and probably you don't have a local uh, phone operator. You don't have uh, knowledge of the NS Railway app from where you can purchase the train ticket. Maybe you have limited cash, or you don't have a debit card through which you can make the payment. A lot of problems. Although there are kiosks where you can purchase with cash the train tickets, still you'll be very excited and worried, and you won't have any information, almost any information at all. So that's a major problem. Therefore, it's better if you can arrange for a free pickup service by the university. That's a great service. I really love it, and I thank the university from here for arranging such a service. Uh, if not, yeah, your best option is a train or a bus if you can arrange one. If there's one, I mean, that's leaving, but you'll have a lot of luggages with you probably. In my case, it was the case, 40 kilograms in total on my own. Like it was hard because many pieces, uh, I had to I had to carry many pieces of equipment with me. It was tough. In your first day, let's say you arrange for the pickup service, so you'll wait until time comes and all the students are there. Then you leave, and the bus trip takes around 1.5 hours. And in Rotterdam, there are 3 to 4 different stops for the pickup service bus. One is the Campus Waterstein, one is the International House, one is the Erasmus Medical Center, and one is the Student Hotel. I uh, so you can just drop at the location that's the most appropriate for you. So when you first come, of course, you have to settle in your room accommodation, or if your accommodation's contract starts, for example, several days later, a few days later, or a week later, let's say, just settle in your hotel room and then relax a bit, get some rest, and next day or the same day, start making preparations for your coming life, like search for phone operators, go to banks, ask some questions, and if you have registered yourself for the one-stop shop in the campus, definitely come attend it and talk with the officials there, the employees of the organizations there. Uh, Go to the information desk of the university to ask questions, or just ask questions to students or people there. Uh, an advice I can give is also uh, join the Facebook page called Commodity Market Rotterdam, where you can see second-hand stuff being sold. It can range from cars to wardrobes, you know, anything really. And that can help you when you're first moving into your accommodation and you need to buy cheap but new things, for example, maybe bikes. A major problem you might have is actually the most important thing, that is like opening bank account, because you probably have deposited or transferred uh, your living expenses to the university's account, which the university will show to the Dutch government as a proof that this student will be able to cover his or her living expenses during his stay and study in the Netherlands. So the Dutch government requires that as a proof of self-sufficiency. That is 900 euros per month for 12 months, for 1 year. And plus, of course, you have to deposit the university's tuition fee. But that aside, which is for the oncoming for the new year for international students is 9,200 euros, and for the local students and the EU students, I think it's 2,060 or maybe 2,100. I don't know. But first year students also get a 50% discount, so it's like 1,030 euros for the EU citizens and locals. So the amount you have to transfer as a proof of self-sufficiency in living cost is 10,800 euros for the whole year. So you want to get that money back into your own account. For that, you need, of course, Dutch bank account. And for that, they require you to have the residence permit card, and that you can get once you made an appointment with the IND, that's Immigration and Naturalization Department. And IND office is just next to the Rotterdam Central Station. You have to check it on your map, Google Maps. Just check the location. And once you have the appointment, go there with the required documents and get your residence permit card, and then immediately start the procedure for opening a bank account. That's my advice. And then your money will be transferred back from the university's account to your account in a week or two. For me, I was lucky, it was in a week, but for some people, it was 2 weeks. Uh, and I mean, this is more or less it about the priorities you should have in terms of actions to be taken when you come here in your first days, in your first week. Uh, and I don't know what else to talk about now. So this will be it for this part, the second part, and see you in the third part where I will talk about things that I do not remember now, but will remember probably after stopping this video. Thank you.